Hello Stitchy friends, welcome and welcome to my channel, the Wendy in Neverland channel. Hopefully I was able to insert a couple of snowy pictures, videos that I took in the last couple of days. We finally got snow. Finally. Here in the valley in Oregon between the Cascades and the Coast Range, we don't typically get snow unless you're, on high enough elevation. So we finally got some. Yes, we got probably a couple inches or so. It snowed most of one day. I think it was Tuesday. Then yesterday there was still some on the ground, a good amount, and by afternoon it was pretty much gone. I mean, if anybody made a snowman, that was still there, but the snowmans are definitely gone today. Our weather just stays too warm for it to continue to snow as well as continue to stay on the ground, so it doesn't stick around for very long. So today is the 28th of January. It's been about a month since I did a video, and as I had mentioned, some of my new changes and new things that I was going to do was do videos a little less often, only because, not that I didn't feel like I didn't have enough stuff to make, about a half an hour video before at every 2 weeks. It just seemed like that 2 weeks rolled around so stinking fast that I was like, I have to make another video and I'm not ready for it yet. It seemed too fast. So I decided to wait and see how that was going to go for this year. And I think I like it. I think it turned out fairly well. I have obviously more stitching done than I would in 2 weeks, so I'll have more of that to show you, but also it just felt like it wasn't too fast. It wasn't too soon before another video was needing to be made. So that's good. So I think I'm going to stick with this. Unless something comes up that's like going to be a special video, I'll probably keep it to every once a month. I was watching the most recent Patchy Pony Stitcher video that she just put out like a day or two ago. And she's been doing her videos for about 2 years, and I'm probably going on about 1.5 years now. So we're close to how long we've been doing this. And she decided that she was going to kind of reintroduce herself because there may be new followers that didn't watch from the very, very beginning. They haven't gone all the way back and watched and had when she would have introduced who she was, where she lived, all that kind of stuff, and then why she had picked the name that she had. So I thought that's a really good idea, because every once in a while you kind of either need to know because you're new to the channel, or it's just kind of a refresher as to who the people are that you're watching. So some of the things I've talked about in videos, you might have gotten clues as to some things about me as well as where I live. So I live in Oregon, and I live in a little town called Dayton. It is from the Portland city limits. It's probably about a 45-minute drive to get to us. So we're about halfway from Portland to the coast. It's a lovely little town, but yeah, it's a little bit farther out from getting to more of the Portland area if you need to, as well as most of our friends live a little farther east of us. So that makes it a little bit harder, but I love this town. I love being out here. It's pretty rural to some degree. The little town has about 2,500 people, and that probably includes some farms on the outskirts of Dayton. And it's farmland all around us. Yeah, so it's very peaceful and for the most part quiet, unless they have the fire station alarm going off, then that's not so quiet. So yeah, that is where I live. I have been stitching. I'm trying to remember, I think I was a teenager, like late teens or something like that, when I started doing cross stitch, and I did that through probably the early 90s. And then I took a break, maybe a little bit into the 90s, because I know I did my kids' samplers, their baby samplers when they were born. But I did take a break for probably about 10 years. And I was doing more scrapbooks and quilting and things like that. So I wasn't really doing stitching. Then I picked it back up because if you've ever done quilting or scrapbooking, it requires a lot of stuff, a lot of room, and a lot of getting up most of the time. Now, some scrapbookers will just sit there and they don't really get up too much. A lot of times I will stand up in order to look down on my plans to see if I'm placing things right or straight or whatever. Quilters are constantly getting up because they have to go cut fabric, iron fabric, figure out the layout, so, and it takes a lot of room as well. Cross stitch doesn't really do that, or any other stitching like embroidery and stuff like that. You have all your supplies usually kind of right around you, and you just sit with it in your lap for the most part, and you stitch, and you can watch TV, and most of the time it's not going to distract you or cause you to make mistakes while you're stitching, though sometimes it can. Whereas sometimes, with quilting, you probably could watch something, but you're going to be up and down and moving around so much that you can't be focused on the TV so much. So that's partially why I got back into it. And I love doing it. I love the handwork. So I got back into it, and I've continued with it since then. I picked my name, The Windy in Neverland. It's a little different, but I like being different. I picked that because we're Disney fans, if you've heard us talking about things like that occasionally. I think my very, very favorite character is Tinkerbell. I really love her. She's sassy. She's green. She's got her green dress, which is my favorite color. But the sparkly and the sassy and everything else really endears me to her. So I usually have that as, I've got quite a few decoration stuff with her. But I wanted to incorporate that somehow in my name, but I didn't want to just say Tinkerbell in the name. So Tinkerbell lives in Neverland. And the story of Peter Pan, you do have a Wendy character, even though our names are spelled slightly different. So I thought I will use that kind of combination and form my name from that. So the Wendy in Neverland, and I'm with Tinkerbell, and it's all good. So that's kind of how I came up with that name, just something a little different. So there's my intro into who I am and kind of stuff, and why I picked my name. Something else I want to mention before we get into stitching stuff is I had said, I believe in my last video, that it was going to be my birthday in a few days. So at the beginning of January, the 3rd actually, was my birthday. Couldn't really do much. COVID. Yeah, #COVID. But I did a few days later, because just timing wise and the dates that they fell on, did go to the coast. And I've kind of been doing that for the last 4 years. Around my birthday, I'll take a night and go to the coast. And most of the time in fact, every time I don't think I've stayed anywhere else. I go to Obeh. So if you go to the coast, the easiest way for us to get to the coast, you hit Lincoln City and you go just a little bit south of that and you're at Obeh. So I stayed there and had a lovely night, just calm, refreshing, relaxing night at the coast. And while I was there, my best friend was texting me and saying, "Would you like to spend another night at the coast?" Well, who wouldn't? So she met me actually in Lincoln City. So I went back up north a little bit. And we stayed another night and had a great time. It was so nice to be able to just sit there and chat with your friend, listen to the ocean. We went for a nice long walk. In fact, we kind of got started on our walk a little bit late, and we went for really far down the beach. And as we were coming back, I started thinking, I wonder what time it is. And looked at my phone, and it was like 10 minutes until we were supposed to be checked out of the room, and we were not going to be back in time. It was going to be closed, but so we're calling the hotel office like, we're coming, sorry. So it was very nice, and I really appreciate her wanting to do that for me, and it was very lovely, very lovely. So yeah, the other thing related to my birthday and stitching is I decided to make myself a whole bunch of new project bags. I usually focus on making project bags that I'm going to sell, but I decided as a treat for myself, I was going to make project bags for me. And that will also help with the new starts that I'm doing this year. Yes, I will finish up some of my whips from last year, and I'll be able to use those bags. But I also wanted some new ones. You know, we always feel like that. So I am going to show you some new bags that I made. All right, I guess kind of related to Tinkerbell. This is kind of a new segue into it. I did get this side, kind of a fairy one. Little fairies flying all over the place. So that's the front. I really love this fabric too. This is really cool. Really cool. I don't think any of this glows in the dark. The lady, when she was cutting it at the quilt store, was like, do these glow in the dark? We couldn't find anything on the bolt, so we didn't think it did, and I'm pretty sure they don't. I keep meaning to check, and I never do. So along with this, I made another one of these floss pocket things, and I used the same fabric. And something that I'm trying different, because I've made a few of these, not a lot, but I made a few more with this set of bags. Something that I'm trying to add is a big giant pocket on the back. And I know that the gal who makes these, I think she had started to do this too. So I think I have done one where it would just be open faced here and it went all the way to the edges. But I wanted to do something a little different, so I just made one that was set inside here, and then this, it's got a flap. It's hard to see because it's vinyl, but there is a flap, so it'll keep things from just rolling out, because I think it did on my other one a couple times. And I don't really need a fastener because vinyl kind of just sticks to vinyl. So I don't really need to put any new Velcro or anything on there. At least I haven't noticed any problems yet. That seems to be working. So there is project bag number one. Another one that I made. I don't have a zipper pull on that one yet. I need to do that. I kind of set it aside and then started using the bag and then kind of forgot about it. So another one is a bee one. Very cute. And this is the coordinating fabric I used with it. And my little zipper pull is a bee, get him to hold still, with some goldish beads to go with it. So bee charm along with some gold. So there's another one. I made a lot, people. I went a little crazy. I love green, as I mentioned. That's my favorite color, and greens and blues are really high on my list, but also adding a little brown in there too is ideal. If you've watched my videos, you know I love to get out in nature, and that's nature. So got some lovely nature things. It's just a kind of plain green back, but then I did add this giant bug to it. So cute, a nice kind of paisley-ish around the zipper. So there's number 3. Number 4 is an oceany one. So while I was at the ocean, I had some time to kill before my friend met me for the second night, and I drove down to Newport, and they had a quilt store down there. Needed to kill time, and so I found this there. And I decided to use the same fabric up here as the stuff that's behind the vinyl. The back is this lovely, pretty oceany colors. And the zipper pull. I need to make those hold still because they make y'all sick. Oh, it's got a little starfish. It looks like the ocean. Nice greens and blues beads. So there's that. And then along with that, I made another one of these little floss holders. It's got the little pocket on the back as well. Then I made a Friends bag. I love Friends. I watch Friends a lot. So there is all those little motifs from the show. And then I've got fabric that has all their names and it says Friends as well. So that's the back. Now for the zipper pull, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I could order Friends charms, and if I didn't want them super cheap, they were going to be a little expensive and I didn't want to do that. So I found a frame, a little metal frame, just at like Joann's or Michael's or something like that. And then I doctored it up. It doesn't look exactly like, where is it? Like this frame from this show, but it's close enough. You're going to see it's close enough. There it is. Put this behind you. So I took these little, it was originally silver, and I took it and painted it. So it's got the back is, well, you can't see what the back is. Not very well. It doesn't have the scroll work as much as this front does. So I painted it yellow, then I sprayed some, like a coating, a top coat protector on it so the paint hopefully won't chip off and stuff like that. And then I had to figure out what I wanted to put on the inside as the frame. And I chose the lobster. And yes, the lobster's in this fabric. But I love the episode when he's her lobster. So Ross and Rachel finally get together, and yeah, I really love that. So cute stuff, cute stuff. Then I found some fabric that had these cats with this lovely coloring on them. And there's several different panels of different colors of cats, different positions, etc. So I chose to make this. This is not a vinyl front. It has this nice goldy colored swirly pattern on the inside, and then this on the back, which is the same that I did for the border around this, so I can make the bag a little bit bigger. And for my zipper pull, I put on a lovely cat charm. It's kind of blurring out there. And I'm going to show you this fabric a little bit later in the video here. Then I made, as I've mentioned also, I love steampunk type of look of stuff. So I found some fabric that had some steampunk look to it. So we got the bicycle with the keys and the clocks and kind of gear looking images here. Obviously this panel isn't very big, so I had to add some fabric to make it bigger. The back has kind of some watches, keys, roses, all that pretty stuff. And then the zipper pull, what's a bicycle with some gears. Fun stuff. I also have some more fabric I'm going to show you with this, different things, and talk about that too. And I made another one of these. This has gears. Let's see if we can see this. So it's got a very faint look of gears to the background, this smoky gray, and then just black. I did not add a pocket to this back one. It's kind of a smaller one. But yeah, I made one of those for this. And my last one is this. So the one with the bicycle is not a vinyl front as well. I think I just put the black on the inside. Yeah, I just put black on the inside. This is also not a vinyl front. It's so cute. Things that I really enjoy. Now, I usually use a tent and not a little camper, but I love the idea of this. So I love to bike ride. Love that. It's got a lake in the back. I love to kayak, so all those things kind of incorporate all this. So this was some material that had a whole bunch of horizontal patterns to it. So one was this, along with a few different campers. Then there was a strip with bicycles and mopeds, and in the sky part of it, it had a bunch of these travels and adventure and road trip and different things. And then the sun was in one of these panels with one of the trailers. So I cut the sun out, some words, and the bicycle out, and then added them and stitched them on to add a little bit more funness to this thing. So then I had to find some grass to extend it down, find some blue to extend the sky, used, oh, I got some fuzzies on the back, used that grass for the back. The inside of this one is just some nice pretty blue, and the zipper pull is a flamingo, so it goes with these flamingos. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness. So that is the other bag that I made. I did a lot, people. I did a lot, and I am now ready for any new starts to fill them up. What I wanted to mention about some of that other fabric is that I will be getting, I've got some things finished, but I need to make some more of the bags, and then I will be putting them on my site for selling as well. So some of them that I finished was one of these. So as you notice, I have 3 words on it instead, and this is a different trailer, so it's a different look, a blue bike instead of the yellow one. And each of these has a little bit different fabric on the inside. So this is similar. It is slightly different though. Then there's another one that's different. It's got a different camper. So this is the camper that was on the one I'm keeping, and then this is the third type of camper. I did not put the words on this. That thought came to me later. So as you can see, the sun was part of this particular bag, or part of the panel. This one has some cool fabric on the inside. Kind of matches all the fun colors in there. And then the third one was this one. So again, that's the same camper that you saw on the one I'm keeping, but this is a little bit more plain. It doesn't have all the other stuff on it, which some people may not want that. This also has some really fun fabric on the inside. So I will be putting these 3 up on my site that I'm going to be selling. The other things that I was going to show you with the fabric was on the steampunk one. The fabric that I found that on had a whole bunch of different things. So you can see it's got hearts, it's got the little form, the dress form, it's got an air balloon, tea, and water. The back half of a bicycle looks like with the heart. Kind of world and tea stuff here. And then some more. You have to kind of flip it over. I'll show you the other stuff. Oh, it's not cooperating here. I have it upside down. I think it's upside down. Yes, it is. You got a giant bee with clock, frog. There's the bicycle I use, the form with a hat, and then a giant air balloon. So I'm going to make some more bags. If you happen to see something specific in this that you want a bag made from, please let me know, and then I will concentrate on that instead of just kind of trying to pick something I think people would like. So feel free to let me know. The cats, I wanted to show you the fabric I got the cats from because it's really cute as well. So here's a couple more. You got some purples, and then there's another pink, a little different, as I mentioned, different poses. And then a couple more, these. So again, if you are interested in something like this, let me know and I will concentrate on making that instead of just picking something at random or my best guesses. So those are all my birthday things I made. This is gonna be a long video, but you know what? That's okay. One of the other things I mentioned several things that were going to be new for this year in my last video in December, was that I was going to change up how I did my schedule of stitching. So before it was January, I started all those new starts. So I had 31 new starts in January, one for each day. And then after that, I would focus 10 days on going back and working on those new starts throughout the year. And then all of May, I focused on my HAED. And then a little bit in December, I had some time where I had already worked on all of the new starts, and I just had some time before the beginning of the year. So, so I decided to change things up a little bit because I didn't want to do the same procedure. So I had mentioned I made these new guides for myself. So I was going to focus for about 6 days on, let's say, my HAED. Then, as it shows here, I was going to do 2 days of a new start, focus 2 days for that. And then after that, another 6 days on a whip that I had from 2020. So try and finish those up, getting those all taken care of. And then it would start kind of over again. So this has turned out very well. I am very, very happy with what I'm getting done, the rotation that's happening, getting my hands on enough new different kinds of things that it's working out very well. I really, really, really like it. I have done it just in January. I have worked on my HAED 3 times. Well, it kind of ran in from December to January. So kind of before I really started following this really true to its schedule. But definitely 2 different 6-day periods. Then I went back and worked on 2 whips. One of them I finished. I mentioned that there's quite a few of those whips that I was going to be able to probably finish within a week's period or less. And then I started 2 new things. I'm getting ready here this weekend. I will start another new one as well. It's going to be that time to start a new one. So I am really getting my hands on a lot of things, and I don't feel like I'm pushing everything aside and not getting back to it. It's like, why have these whips if I'm not going to come back and work on them? So that's been really nice. So with that in mind, let's look at the other thing I mentioned before we look at those whips. One of the things I wanted to do, and I was saying that so that you all could keep me accountable. And it's worked because I sit there and think in the back of my mind, they're all going to know. They're going to know if I don't get to it. So I did. And that was to FFO more. So I was going to FFO like at least one thing per 2 weeks. So within a month, I should have at least 2 things FFO'd. And that's already something that's already been finished stitching. It's just I need to complete it, just finally get it completely FFO'd. So I did do that. I did get 2 things done. Now I might do more than that, but we all know how busy our schedules get, and that's why we don't end up FFOing things, is because we forget about it or find other things to take up our time. So I did some small things that I've been wanting to. I have part of these already FFO'd, and there was about, I don't know, a third of them left that I hadn't finished. So I was really glad that I put myself into keeping myself accountable and getting them done. So I FFO'd this lovely. So this is part of that calendar monthly series. So got January finally done, so I could have that up on the wall. And then the other one I did was February. So got February done. Nice lovely red for that. I think I have 3 more left of that series. So I will probably, unless I change my mind, I will probably be working on those for February, getting at least 2 of those done, if not all 3 of them. We'll see how that goes. Sometimes you just kind of have the time and you want to get them done and get it out of here and not have to do it anymore. So, now let's get to all those stitching projects that I was just talking about through my planner. Let's do the new starts. So I started this cutie pie, and pictures are so hard to judge by sometimes. And as much as you can sit there and read the dimensions, it doesn't really sink in sometimes until you stitch it and you realize either how small it is or how big it is. Because sometimes what looks small turns out to be a little big. So these cuties, little fairy houses, appropriate since I love Tinkerbell. I have 6 of these. So they're not all going to be stitched on one piece of fabric, but I will put them so that they're designed in some way. So some of the other ones that I have is this little guy, that one, and that one. So those are the 6 total that I have. I did not use the called for fabric that they had recommended. I wanted to do something slightly different, and I saw this fabric in the store at Acorns, and I love it. And I pulled some colors from one of the patterns so I can compare and make sure that the colors were going to look okay good on it. It is Tidal. That is the name of it. It is an Aida, and it's a 14 count, but oh my goodness, is that just so cute or what? So it is small. I mean, you can see that this is pretty close to the bottom. I'm not sure. Let me see if I've got this here. Where are we? Yeah, I think that this is pretty close to where the bottom is going to be. So you can see it's not, my hand's bigger than this project's going to be. So I will show you a little close up, see what it looks like. It's just so sweet, so cute. And yes, it does have, there's some Krynic that gets used. So in the window, on the sashes, it's Krynic, and then there's beads. There's some beads that go around the window frames. So that will be so cute when it's done. And this was, I believe, the whole 6 days that I worked on it. So I almost finished it. I don't think it would take 6 days to finish this again. But because it's a new one, it may be a little bit before I get back to it. But that's okay, because just like my whips from 2020, I'm coming around to them. They will be worked on again. The next new one that I did, and this I had seen Amy Loves Toads do. She had got the pattern, and then she started working on it, and even from the start when she showed the pattern, I was just gaga over it because it's nature and it's got some very lovely colors in it. And that is Moraine Lake. And this is the maker of this, Obeh? I'm not sure how they pronounce it. So there's that one, and this is how far I got on it. Oh, I think my needle minders are sticking to each other in my vial. Let's put this behind it so you can see it really well. So there is what I have done so far. So the lake is just gorgeous. It's got trees, in the foreground there. So I got quite a bit done. On this. Very happy with it. And this is this was a kit. So it comes with all of, this is one of those Russian ones. It comes with all of the thread. It comes with the fabric. It comes with, everything. And this is just an Aida, but this is full coverage. It's not going to be huge. You can tell by the piece of fabric. It's not going to be huge. And it's full coverage, so it's going to hide the Aida. Yeah, so it won't matter. It won't matter that there's Aida there. Okay, so those were my new starts. Now for the whips. And we'll get to the big one first, which was my HAED. This is the treasure hunt bookshelf. And I will put in right now the little video of where I started at the beginning, you know, before I started my schedule for January, and then where I've ended so far as of today. So I will go ahead and put those in now. And here is what I have done so far. So I've actually gotten quite a bit done. As you can see, I had been kind of spotty over in this area, and I've made it all the way across to the girl that's on the ladder. And that's probably a good at least 2 rows high. And when I say rows, I mean rows of 10. So 20 stitches high, maybe 30 or more in some cases. And I don't even know how many columns across I did, but there's quite a bit done there. I still have another day or two that I will work on this before setting it aside, and it'll be the last time I pick it up in January. But of course I will be picking this up about every other week or so. So I will continue to get lots of progress done on it. I'm very happy with it so far. It's, as you've heard a lot of people say, it's so frustrating when you can't tell what you're stitching and what it's going to turn out to be, because you're just too close up until you stop and step back and look at it. So this particular window took so long because I swear I changed colors every other stitch. There was hardly any big sections of the same color. So that took a long time. Whereas this had quite a few sections that had bigger areas of the same color. So I was able to move along pretty quickly. So that whole book probably took me like one night to work on that, maybe a little over one night just to finish this, whereas this probably took me 2 or 3 days to finish this little arch area just because of the color changes so often. So we're getting there. So I did get quite a bit done, as I mentioned, and it's looking great. I'm still probably only about halfway done with that thing because it's a little bit more than half. I should say it's more than half, because as you notice, I was right over here and I had finished this top part. So I had finished all of this level. So yeah, I am more than half, because half would have been down here. So I'm up here somewhere. So I've got to do all of those up all the way across. So years in the making, people. If you ever want to start a HAED, be prepared. The next one that I picked up and went back on is my stacked teacups, which this is the name of it. I'm not even gonna try. I love this because I'm a teacup collector, so I've got lots of pretty teacups, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Now I did switch out. This was another one of those kits that comes with all of the fabric and the thread. So I did switch out because it is Aida, and because it is not full coverage, you are going to see around the teacups on the fabric. So I wanted something a little different. I did find the same, I mean, it looks exactly the same coloring of fabric. So that's the same. So this is what I've gotten done on it so far. And I will hopefully have put in the before picture so you can see where I was. So somewhere down in here I had done, and so I've done all of this up here, as well as a few other things. There's some I filled in down here. I finally have a handle. This is my first handle. The Q-snap that I'm using, I can only show one side of the handles in order to stitch them. So if I'm going to stitch this side, the Q-snap comes in too close for me to do these handles. So I had gotten one of the handles done. But yeah, it's turning out lovely. Very lovely. Another thing I made for myself was a few needle minders, and I made some to match my stitching projects. So I got a little teapot to go with my teacups. So cute. So there is the other, another whip that I finished, or not finished, that I worked on. Now I have some finishes that are actually completely stitched finish, and of course I'm going to have to FFO them, but yeah. So this little guy, my little stitching bee from a Little House Needleworks, I finished him. So cute. So if you remember, I needed to put this on that little drawer, well, not drawer, but the little pockets that come out, that hinge out in the different directions. And I was going to put this on top and then have some, probably some pins to stick in. So I'll probably put some fluff in there to make it a little squishy and be able to make it kind of a pin cushion, but not functional. I won't use it as a pin cushion. It'll just be decorative. But yeah, it turned out cute. So cute. So if you wanted to see what this looks like in person and you want to stitch it, there you go. It's not terribly big, so it'll fit nicely on top of that, I think. Every time I kept calculating the measurements, it was supposed to fit. So the other whip that I went back and did, and I was able to finish, so this was a start from 2020, was Voice of the Shepherd. This is an older pattern. I got this back when we lived in Minnesota, so I've had this for a while and I just haven't got it out and stitched it until last year. So let's see. I think I need something behind this so that it doesn't blow out too much in the back. We'll see. Da, 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 da. Fumble, fumble. There it is. It is gorgeous. I love it. So we've got, you know, the little shepherds down there with their sheep. And it does look like a heart shape. I am working on hopefully getting somebody, hopefully, to make me an actual heart-shaped frame that will fit this. So it'll be custom made in order to fit this. But yeah, they don't have it right now, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it, hopefully. Now, when they had framed it for their picture, they just put it in a rectangular frame, which if I can't get a heart frame, this will be fine. This will be fine, but it would be really emphasize that heart shape and just be so nice if I was able to do that. But yeah, it's very nice. So there is my other finish. Yay! We all love it when we finish things. We are doing this for a reason, aren't we? So I think I am going to go into some haul. I don't usually have a lot of haul. I mean, since it's been a month, then I might have more than just one or two things, but I still don't have a ton of haul. So one of the new starts that I'm going to be picking up here, probably actually this weekend, I think is the one I'm going to start on, is a Stony Creek. It's just out of a magazine. I'm not going to get all of it out and show you, but there were some things that I needed to order from Stony Creek, specifically if I wanted them to be the coloring that I was supposed to have for the pattern. So I had to get some floss. So these are the two that they wanted for this blue one. It seems like when I was looking on it online, and of course, if this is, you know, it's all hand dyed, so, you know, they're trying to get it all the same all the time, but it seemed like this had more colors in it because this actually goes in the windows to make it look like it's reflecting. And so all the different colors, kind of like that iridescent, you know, the color changing look to it. It seemed like it had more of that in this, and that's the effect it gave off. And then this is just a nice green. goes for that, so nothing special for that. But what also is on there are some little butterfly buttons that go on the pattern at some point. So I got some of those as well. They're so cute. There's little metal antennas on the big guy. Let me see if we can show that. Well, he's not focusing very well, is he? But he's got little metal antenna. You can kind of see them right there. So cute. And then this is like a side view of a butterfly. So while I was doing that, I decided to get some little bee, teeny tiny bee ones. I'll probably make those into pins. Put those for the top of pins. So cute. So cute. So that's for the project that I'm going to need coming up. So something else that I got, and you probably all seen this, was I finally got this. The Crossed Wing collection. This is the Chipping Sparrow. I don't know if I'm going to make this into the biscore nest. I love this picture, so I may just make the image to have and not make it into this. So, but I love it, love it, love it. Today, I actually went to Acorns because there was a pattern that came in that I had wanted. This wasn't something that had already been made and they're just waiting for a shipment to come in. This is something that I think that still hadn't been released yet, and now it finally is. And then it also came in, so I finally got it. And that was the other mouse roll. This is the winter one. And now this completes my set. I have all 4 seasons of these. So cute. And this has some finishing stuff in it. So it's got the beads, the little base for the mouse, and some, I'm trying to think what this is. It's wool. It's cream wool. It's for the inside of the scissor roll. So it would be the back side of this. And so that's what that's for. The fabric is just a natural, a 32 natural. I wanted to spice things up a little bit. Normally I just get what they recommend. On occasion I don't. For example, my little fairy garden houses. So I did get a natural, but I got the shimmer natural because it's winter and it's snow, and yeah, so got some shimmery to go for my mouse roll for the winter. So got that. Now, some of the other things that I've gotten are kind of online things. And what I mean by that is that the linens and threads, now I know some people have done their samplers that they do, the mystery samplers through that they'll get the pattern throughout the year to add to their stuff. Last year's it was really pretty. It was kind of like a Quaker look to it. I can't remember what it was called. This year's, I'm going to go ahead and get it. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it because I don't know what it's going to look like yet. The theme of it isn't something I necessarily would be drawn to, but I'm waiting to give my opinion on it until I know a little bit more about it and whether or not I'm going to like it. It is kind of a Spanish theme, and as they phrased it, it's kind of like the Spanish tiles. You might see the designs, so it sounds like that's what it's going to look like. It's called Talavera is the pattern. I'm not going to obviously show you the actual pattern. I'll show you a picture of what they gave out in January, which is just the main, look to what is going to be the border and what all the different pieces will fit in here. This is not small. I know it looks small, but it will be bigger, be much bigger. So February is almost here, and then they will release the next portion of that, and I'm guessing it's going to be one of these, unless there's something that goes in these columns. Maybe they'll release that, or I don't know. I don't know what part it will be that they'll release. So I have done that. Those are free. So I mean, it's kind of a haul, but it's not something I had to pay for. I can't remember if I mentioned this when I did my last video or not. I was watching Colette Highway Stitcher, and she had shown, and this was an old video, she had shown a piece that she had done through the Stitching Book Club. Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts is the person who does this. I think I did mention this, but I wanted to just kind of mention that I did get this. So this was for the Secret Garden, and it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So that is something that I have gotten, and because I started looking at this and following her, I decided to go with stuff for this year that she's going to be doing. So each year for the Stitching Book Club, they will usually do several books throughout the year, and then they'll do a stitched pattern to go with it. It was slightly cheaper if you got the whole year for all the different sales that were going to be happening. So I went ahead and did it, even though I don't know if I'll stitch all of them or read all the books to go with it, but I'll have it. That way I can decide if I'm going to do that. I know, I wish I could remember what all of them were. There's going to be 3 patterns that were included in the yearly subscription for the sales. They're actually going to do 4 books, but the 4th one is going to be the Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. And when they got the copyright to be able to do stitched patterns, they were only allowed to do so many, so she could not include that as part of the whole yearly purchase for the patterns. So that will be, it'd be interesting to see if I end up getting a hold of one of those, because it's going to be like, you know, a mob trying to get on the computer for people who want to get that one, I think, because there's only so many that she can sell. So with her stitching group, the Stitching Book Club, the first one is about to start. So as I mentioned, I got the yearly thing, so I knew that the first book was going to be Sense and Sensibility, the Jane Austen book. The other thing that she offered new for this year was to get, now this isn't something that you're going to get for every single one of the books, but for this first one, she put a kit together so that you can have all the supplies with you when the pattern is released, because they haven't sent out the pattern yet. I think that's sometime here in beginning of February that we will get that. So I was lucky enough, because it was last Saturday at 12 Eastern time. So you had to calculate Eastern US time, I should say. If you weren't living in the Eastern US, you had to calculate when that was going to be, and you had to be on the computer with her site up, ready to go, keep refreshing it until 12 o'clock hit, and that kit popped up and you could buy one. I remembered, which is a miracle, and I went on and I was able to snag one of the kits. I mean, they sold out fast, people. So it is, as I mentioned, we don't have the pattern, so we don't know what it's like, but we do know what the color is going to be. So this is the color of the fabric. It's a nice blue color. This also came in it, something that we'll finish with, and then all the colors came with it, all of the skeins that we'll need. I'm guessing this is far more than we will need when we stitch the project. It comes with some needles. There's a simple little book card, book marker in there. And then it came with this lovely little book, kind of a simple little book. The nice thing about this is it did give the timetable of when we were going to be doing things. So for example, chapters 1 through 22 we'll be doing during these weeks, and then the next chapters the following weeks, and so forth and so on. So it gave us a timetable. It also gave some information about Jane Austen, so that's kind of nice to be able to read a little bit. And then it gave a whole bunch of Let me see if there's things. Trying to see where it says part 1. Oh, there we are. Some pages to make notes. So as you're reading through those chapters for the first section, which part 1 they're calling that, for those first 22 chapters, you can make notes, and then they will have a book discussion at the end of that time period. And so then you can kind of remember what you read, and also, you know, what you might want to contribute to the conversation. It also will help if you end up reading ahead, because then you can just write down your notes for those chapters, because they specifically asked, you know, if you're going to read ahead, that's fine, but only contribute to the chapters we're going to be talking about. So that will be very helpful if, you know, you do read ahead. And then there's a part 2 and a part 3. So it's just a simple little booklet, but it's kind of nice being able to have this to keep track of that, because I can very well foresee where if I am going ahead of what we're doing, then that will be nice to have that. To be able to, like, oh yeah, that's right, I don't want to say any more beyond this. Okay, so here's the other books for this year. Little Women, that might be interesting to have that pattern as well. The Great Gatsby. I do like the movies. Now, obviously, the book may be different. I don't think I've read the book. I don't think. And then, of course, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I already mentioned. So I am looking forward to those books and being able to potentially stitch all those things. We'll see how that fits in with all the other things I'm doing. I mean, maybe I'll make those one of my new starts or something, or just kind of sneak it in whenever I can. I don't know. So anyway, that's all those I got for this particular club. So the only other thing I think I was going to mention, because as I said, this might be a little bit longer video, and this isn't necessarily stitching related, so sorry, this isn't interesting to you. I am one of those planner people. So the happy planners, whatever. I like the happy planners because you can remove the pages. I believe the Erin Condren books, you can't. They're spiral bound, so they're not removable. And having those pages out to work on them at the time is helpful, because then the center discs don't get in the way. So as you do those kinds of things, you try to find patterns or pages that you really speak to, that you like. So you might watch other people and see what they do to get inspiration and ideas. One of the things I thought I might do is I'm going to Google free sticker pages and see what pops up. So I did that. And there's a lot. There's a lot. So if you want to get some free sticker art pages ideas, just Google that and go to town. Go to town. So what I do is I get these are just label. This is the back side. The label stickers, and this is a full size sheet, so it's not cut into pieces. It's not little tiny labels. It's not two half sheets. It's a full sheet, and that's what I print my stickers on. And I go, if you want a cheap place, and I don't know, maybe you can get them cheaper, but this is pretty cheap. I can go to Walmart and get these full sheets, and it's the Avery brand. It's not some off brand. Okay. The full sheets, there's 10 sheets in a packet, and it's like less than $4.50. It's a pretty good deal. So the only other thing you're paying for is the ink that you will need in your printer to be able to print these off. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I got, and and keep in mind that if you use these, they're for personal use only. So this is not something that you can make and sell, like make something with these stickers and then sell them. They're supposed to be for your own personal planners, and that's what I'm using these for. So I mean, you can share on a variety of sites, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, whatever. You can share the pages you've created in your planner using these stickers, but you're not supposed to like be using them as income type of things. I will also try to put in my description where I got, what websites I got these from, so you can kind of go back and look. So with that, it's like bunnies and tea. Oh, so cute. Now this is in one of these, and I think it was this particular one, you got to choose which size of stickers you wanted. So I chose the big planner, the big happy planner, because I have one that's like this big. So it's a bigger one. You can choose, there's like 3 or 4 different sizes that you can choose from. So this will fit. This is like for one of the boxes, because I have the vertical layout and there's 3 boxes per day. So that's with that. And then also not most of these didn't have like a second page that coordinated with it, but this one did. A bunch more boxes. Okay, and then check off little tab things to go with it. So these all coordinate together. Very nice. Something that a lot of people tend to like to use is black boxes. So black boxes with a black border around it. It's elegant, but it's also can kind of work with any color scheme. And I found a site that had black boxes. And the nice thing is they had long ones. You know, if you're a planner, how valuable your long boxes are. And it's, you know, they don't come with a lot when you get those sticker packs that you buy. So this was kind of nice. Then I found watercolor looks. So yes, you will have to cut all these out yourself. So cut around all of these. But aren't those pretty? Aren't those pretty? All right, the next one, and this did not give me a size, so they're a little smaller than I thought they were going to be, but I can still use them. I can still use them. It's a queen bee kind of look. Isn't that pretty? And of course, I could have printed out 2 of these, so maybe if I wanted to have 2 of these borders, and I could always go back and do that as long as their freebie is still up. At least 1 or 2 places wanted you to give them an email or subscribe in order to get their free stuff, but you know, it doesn't cost you anything. So there's that. Something a little more current coming up. Valentine's. We got gnomes. Valentine gnomes. Aren't they so cute? So there's that one. This I thought was so adorable. Mason jars. Mason jars with different looks to them. So cute. So cute. Then there was something that looks like glitter, a glitter look to it, but it doesn't have the glitter on there. So, and I love these colors. Got that. And who doesn't need a little coffee, man? Some more coffee stuff to add if you want to make a coffee page or just need a sticker for one. And then I got, and I've been printing these out for a while now to use for various things, but I thought I'm going to print these out so I can use them for my planners, is these colorful boxes. So there's, you know, boxes you can cut out, and there's lots of different colors. So got those, and then there's also a little bit smaller size if you just need a small box. Lots to go in there. Then found so appropriate for Oregon, the rain and weather. Now for some reason they put this as a fall one, so you can see it's got some fall stuff in it. Some of them don't, like this and this. But this I associate with Oregon in the spring because we get so much rain during this time that that's what I will use it for. I'll save these and probably use them in the fall, but we have a pretty dry fall. So I'm not sure why they associated fall with what seems to be more spring-like, but cute. And then the last one is more of a summery one. So lots of different picture boxes as well as boxes to write and journal in. This was only a fraction of what I saw, people. So if you're really interested in getting some free, you know, stickers printed off to use in your planners, go to it. Of course, they do have their sites where they sell other things. These were just the free ones. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed being able to find all of that and have some stickers, some different things to put in my planner. So anyway, I believe we are finally all finished. Yeah, it's a little long, but you know, at least I'm not doing this every 2 weeks. That's really helpful because there's more to it than just filming this video. There's a lot of editing and uploading and all that kind of stuff. So even though this is Thursday the 28th, it probably won't be anywhere near ready to be posted on YouTube until the 29th. And I don't know if it'll be the afternoon or the evening because it depends how fast everything's cooperating. And we know that that can be a problem too. Sometimes the computers and the uploads are not cooperating. Anyway, I hope you are having a great year so far. We are into our new year, and unfortunately, it looks like we still have, you know, restrictions are going to last a little bit longer than we all hoped. I know some people are getting their shots already, and hopefully that will cause these restrictions to ease up faster. So all I'm going to say about that. Obviously in February, Valentine's is coming up. The fun things that we did last year, we will not be able to do because it was right before everything shut down. So we were still able to have kind of a fun Valentine's, but not so much this year. Maybe I'll talk about that in the next video, not only what we did last year, but what we ended up doing this year, if anything, because who knows? Who knows? So I guess we'll send you off on your way and wish you all a great February. We'll see you again in about a month.